What's up, guys? Donovan, Sharpe. As you see, Miami J just demonetized the show within the first 5 seconds, but that's par for the course here at TSR Towers. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's show. What we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna try to do is every week we are going to attempt to talk about the NFL.
Am I the only one who just lost everything?
Yes. I guess Miami J is having some connection issues down there. We still see you. I don't know.
There, I got it.
You got me? All right. I was gonna say we definitely still see you, but don't really know about anybody else. But yeah, what we're gonna try to do is we'll try to make this a sort of a weekly TSR version of Sunday NFL Countdown. We're just gonna run through all the games. We'll talk about Thursday night's game. We'll talk about Monday night's matchup, and then we'll talk about all of our teams, which I know most of us are proud of. I'm good with the Eagles. Why is somebody calling me when I'm on the air? Ugh. People never, dude, guys, my phone stays silent, but as soon as I'm on the air, people blow me up. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Entrepreneur 215 says, talk about the cheating ass Patriots. Let me just go ahead and that. Let me just go ahead and address this right off the bat, right? Because so many people, and we'll do a round robin panel style discussion. That way we can have some sort of organization here. In my opinion, I'm going to go first. Doctor, you'll be number 2. MLD, you'll be number 3. And Miami J, you're going to be number 4 on this because I know you probably share some of the sentiment. But the thing is this, guys, is what people fail to realize in this moment is that what the Patriots are doing, never going to see this again. You can love them, you can hate them, you can call them cheaters, ball deflators, doesn't matter, okay? If you go to 9 Super Bowls and win 6, you got to understand that there is some luck along the way, right? They can thank last year's Super Bowl on D Ford. If he doesn't jump off sides, then it's the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl instead of the LA Rams, right? They can thank Adam Vinatieri, who kicked that 45-yard a field goal blizzard in 2002. That was the Tuck Rule game. There are certain things that have to go your way. No one is ever successful all on their own. There's a book called Outliers. It's called The Story of Success. Very, very successful people will be quick to tell you, yes, I was driven, I wanted to be successful, but there was a lot of luck that happened along the way. Along with a lot of luck that happens along the way, there is also some toe stepping, right? People want to call the Patriots cheaters because of Spygate. Everybody spies on the other team. The Patriots were just too stupid. They were stupid enough to get caught. Then there was Deflategate. Oh, no, Tom Brady didn't. Whatever you think about Tom Brady, they were up by 30 some odd. He inflated the ball in the second half. By then, they were already up 3 or 4 touchdowns, right? Aaron Rodgers says himself, yes, I like the ball to be inflated. So my point is this, guys, is that enjoy the show because this is never going to happen again. We're never going to have a coach quarterback combo go to 9 Super Bowls and win 6 of them. And anybody says, now I understand Miami J hates the Patriots, and I know a lot of people hate the Patriots, but with that hatred comes respect, okay? Derek Lowe once threw a fastball at Alex Rodriguez's head. A-Rod gets all indignant. Jason Varitek, who was catching for the Red Sox, says, look, dude, we don't throw at 240 hitters, right? A-Rod was having a bad season. We're not trying to do that. The Patriots get hate, but they get that respect. So, listen, if you want to think Patriots are cheaters, go right ahead. But you got to understand is that everybody, quote unquote, cheats on some level. Doctor, what are your thoughts on the cheating Patriots?
Well, this is coming from someone who is who's used to getting skull fucked going back to 1986 for the Patriots. I'm a Dolphin fan, probably Miami J is one too. So, and we will continue to get skull fucked this year, which is why I've sort of checked out after last weekend, after all those developments. You know, Operation Tank for Tua has begun.
Yes.
We dumped Laramie Tunsil,
yep.
Kenny Steele, but no, we're not tanking, and we lose 59-10 to a running back with an arm. So, and now we're about to get rid of our best defensive back, who we've moved from the slot to linebacker to outside to the slot, and we wonder why he didn't have a good performance yesterday, or last week. But needless to say, I will say this about the Patriots: I'm not really all into the cheating stuff because when you have a sustained cultural rate 18 years, you have to, particularly in a league that has become a singular position league, which the NFL has become. which is why I've sort of had a rupture in my relationship with it. But when you have the best guy at the position, that's one, he's been there for 18 years. Second, you have in a league where coaching staffs turn over like the IUDs of 1970s sorority girls. You have a consistent culture when in terms of the coaching staff, particularly the offensive coordinator and some of the defensive coaching staff.
Right.
I'll give you a great example. I was just I watch more college football than pro football. And just a couple weeks ago, I got a chance to actually rewatch the entire national championship game between the Clemson Tigers and the Alabama Crimson Tide, and this is instructive as to why the Patriots have sustained their greatness for so long. When you have two teams who are very good and the margins are very, very small, a couple of things. If you watch that game, the two biggest plays of the game were defensive back reads. Specific defensive back reads in terms of the outside corner reading the slot receiver and jumping the slot receiver. Those are the two biggest plays of the game. All right. So how does that happen? Well, if you look at Alabama's coaching staff, sure, you've got Nick Saban, but you've had a lot of offensive coordinator term, Mike Locksley, Steve Sarkisian, Lane Kiffin. So you continue to change over. And so those guys don't go from matchup to matchup with the institutional knowledge of the individual matchups because Clemson has played Alabama several times over the past few years.
That's right.
Now, the defensive coaching staff, Brent Venables runs that, and he's been there for the entire period. So he has all the institutional knowledge of the previous matchups.
Yes.
So he can actually go. He has that in the bank, but he can also go to individual tendencies of the team and add on top of that. And all he had to do was actually make one wrinkle, and that is to have the outside corner jump the slot, read the slot receiver, and that's where the two interceptions came off of. That were in the being big plays. So if you move to the Patriots, you have all this coaching turnover. You don't have the institutional knowledge. You don't have the consistency, and so that's why the NFL was so much more quality 15, 20, 30 years ago. Is because you had coaching staffs with a lot of guys that had a lot of talent stay for several years.
Continuity.
Before they became head coaches. Yeah, continuity. And now you have a league where, for example, in my previous home state of Arizona, the attrition has gotten so extreme and the well has gotten so shallow that the Arizona Cardinals now have a coach who went 13-16 in college with Patrick Mahomes.
Right. Yes.
He couldn't win Patrick Mahomes or Baker Mayfield.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. He's talking, of course, about Arizona Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury, now of the or used to be Texas Tech, had Patrick Mahomes, had a losing record. This is just kind of how this goes. Let me get MLD's thoughts on the quote unquote cheating Patriots, because you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, right? So of course everybody's going to hate you. I think the team that more people, the team that comes in second place in terms of the hatred around the NFL are the Dallas Cowboys. Are the Patriots cheaters? Do you respect what they've done? What's going on with that?
What's everybody crying about last? Like, I gotta say, man, like, Tom Brady's an American hero, dude. That guy, his 30 for 30 by ESPN, that is seriously, like, I watched that shit. I went to America a couple weeks ago, and in my vacation, I sat down and I educated my Japanese girlfriend. I was like, listen, babe, you need to sit down and give you some cultural enrichment here.
Yeah.
On watch what this man overcame. So what's this whole cheating thing about last week now? What are they cheating out?
I don't think there was. Oh, no. What they were talking about is that the Patriots somehow tampered with Antonio Brown when he was traded to the Raiders, and that the Patriots and Brown came up with this plan to get him out of Oakland without costing the Patriots any money or any draft picks. And the thing is this, the reason why I disagree with that is because the Patriots take on malcontents. They drafted Aaron Hernandez knowing full well that he was probably not such a good dude. They traded for Corey Dillon, who is a malcontent and a big mouth in Cincinnati, won a Super Bowl with him. They have Josh Gordon, whose drug problems are well documented. Of course, Randy Moss back in 2007, they end up setting all sorts of offensive records. They go 16-0, and they're a lucky David Tyree catch away from being the greatest team in NFL history. And now, of course, there's Antonio Brown, who is the typical malcontent receiver. So what people are saying is that the Patriots somehow hatched this plan and got him out of there. What say you?
I just think this complete fucking bullshit. Look, at the end of the day, listen, dude. Okay, Belichick is taking fucking bums and making them celebrity superstar winning champions. Okay,
Yes.
he took Danny Amendola. Who the fuck was Danny Amendola before he went to the Patriots? Okay, he took LeGarrette Blount, who is punching people and knocking people out during fucking college football, knocking dudes out after he loses games. Now he's a Super Bowl champion. The Patriots are just always winning, and they're in a pretty decent division.
Hold on. I got to disagree with you there. No.
Well,
you mean a decent conference? Is that what you mean?
No. Listen. The division was shit, but like back when Mark Sanchez was doing okay, like when they beat them in the playoffs,
can't wait.
They gave him a run for their money. And but at the end of the day, look, it's not an accident that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are consistently in the fucking AFC Championship game. And if you're going to sit there and hate on that, those are the characteristics of a loser, man. I'm sorry, but you got to get on board and you got to respect talent and you got to respect skill if you want to be anywhere.
I agree. You don't have to like Tom Brady. You don't have to like Bill Belichick. But I think the people that hate Brady and Belichick, I think they also respect them. You can't truly hate someone, I believe, who's that talented without a healthy level of respect. Again, they don't boo Tom Brady in every stadium in America because he's a 250 quarterback. No. They boo him because he's got 6 Super Bowl rings and it looks like he might get number 7. Miami J, we have had this discussion. Right. Okay, there you go.
We don't boo Larry Bird and Lakers fans because he sucks. We're scared shitless.
You're going in and out, Doctori. Are we on speaker?
Okay. No, we're on phone, but we have. I kind of drop out of different spots.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to move around in my apartment complex.
Okay.
I have dead spots. So
real quick before I let you go, real quick, a malevolent clown with the $20 super chat. I appreciate the $20 super chat. If you would like to contribute to the show, you can do so, like malevolent clown, via super chat, or you can go to the Streamlabs link, www.streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe, and the number 100% of your contributions comes to the show. Quickly, Doctori, and then we will go to Miami J.
No, I was saying we didn't boo as Laker fans. We did not boo Larry Bird and Kevin McHale because they sucked. It's because we were scared shitless of them.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Xanatos Clutch is in the house. We're going to get to Xanatos in just a minute. Miami J, what are your thoughts on the Patriots?
Hello?
I can't. Oh, no. I can sort of hear you, but it's on delay. We actually had you loud and clear a little while back.
You talking about me?
Yeah, so I just heard your voice, and I'm watching.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, there you go. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Just talk. It'll be on sort of a delay, but it's all good. Go ahead.
All right, so here's what I'll say about the Patriots. So Belichick and Brady are the greatest coach-quarterback combo of all time.
Oh, my God.
The Patriots we're seeing right now are the greatest dynasty of all time. Having said that, I hate them, and as a quarterback, Tom Brady is not the best quarterback of all time.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
You're delusional.
Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback.
You are delusional. Tom Brady
No,
has the infinity gauntlet of Super Bowl rings, dude.
No,
you are a salty
Check this
Miami Dolphins fan.
No.
Tom Brady, you
No,
don't guys listen.
hear my
No,
reasoning.
listen.
Listen
You
to my
don't go to the Super Bowl 9 times on accident. It just doesn't happen
All right,
9 times.
Look,
Miami, go ahead.
check this out. MLB, I get it. But here's my 2 points. All right. One, Belichick doesn't go to 9 Super Bowls without Brady, and Brady doesn't go to 9 Super Bowls without Belichick. So they're codependent. Second, the greatest quarterback as a quarterback of all time individually is Peyton Manning. Okay. Because name me another quarterback who's won Super Bowls with 2 teams.
Okay.
Dude,
and that top tier of all-time great.
Name me a quarterback who's won 6 Super Bowls. Here, I'll do the work for you. His name is Tom Brady.
Well, here's the thing. I've had this discussion.
Well, I'll say Joe Montana because Joe Montana went with 2 different coaches.
Ah,
thank you.
Bill Walsh, who invented the
coaches. All right,
and of course George Seifert. I think this is actually.
Frankie, I'll just say this, and I'll throw my bias out for the rest of the group, and I'll step back.
Okay.
I don't think any quarterback after 2010 could be the greatest because we play in an era where quarterbacks don't face danger, and we have video game numbers.
Okay.
That's a great point. Actually,
40,000 yards, and you get protected now. So
yeah.
Quarterbacks actually got hit back then and danger to face, and they had to. Yeah. So
this is a comparison that I like to make, and Xanatos, I want to get your take on this as well. I think that there is a big difference between the greatest quarterback of all time and the best quarterback of all time. Tom Brady is not a very obviously he has professional sports level talent. He would not be playing quarterback in the NFL if he didn't have talent, but doesn't have the best arm. He's a statue in the pocket, etc., etc. John Elway had far more talent than Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers, probably the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. So I think when we're talking about these discussions in terms of the GOAT, I think there's also a boat, right? The best of all time and the greatest of all time. Tom Brady will go down as the greatest quarterback. He'll go down as the greatest player in NFL history. He'll probably supplant Jerry Rice and Lawrence Taylor. But I think it's almost like the same thing between LeBron and MJ. Michael Jordan is the greatest NBA player ever, but then LeBron could possibly be the best NBA player ever. And not that I don't agree with Jonathan's assertion that, hey, I mean, nobody's ever going to win 6 Super Bowls again, but guess what? Michael Jordan does not have the most NBA championships. Robert Horry has 7. Robert Horry's a 7-time champion. Nobody talks about him being the greatest of all time, right? Bill Russell has 11. Michael Jordan he's not the career points per game scorer. He doesn't lead in average assists. He doesn't lead. Michael Jordan is not the leader in any category, not even in championships. Yet he is regarded as the greatest player of all time. So I think there has to be some context to this. Tom Brady has definitely maximized his talent. I will say that. Xanatos, get in here, man. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Brady being the greatest of all time and the Patriots being cheaters?
Okay, that's both true. I'll the stats. Because if you're going by greatest of all time, best of all time, greatest of all time by definition basically is displayed by the numbers, Super Bowl rings, yardage, touchdowns, etc. So by those stats alone, we have to admit that Tom Brady is the GOAT in that. Now, when it comes to the best, absolutely not. You can name a bunch of quarterbacks who have raw talent that exceed Tom Brady's. If we're going by the definition of what you're saying of the best of all time, you said Aaron Rodgers, you said a couple of other quarterbacks, John Elway. So with that, yeah, I have to concur with that. Now, personally, me being a Niners fan, I want to say he's the second best quarterback of all time, minus Joe Montana. Mainly because you had a different kind of football at the time. It was more physical. You couldn't just sneeze on the quarterback and get a pass interference or roughing the quarterback, but times change. So we have to take that into consideration.
Okay, very good. All right, so that was a very good discussion. Let's go ahead and talk about today's NFL games. I have the NFL schedule to my left. Let's talk about Buccaneers over the Panthers. This to me, I think Miami J said that it was a very disappointing game. To me, it was really Cam Newton has now lost 8 straight starts, gentlemen. That's number one. Number two, Cam Newton has not thrown a touchdown pass in 4 straight games. Right? Let's go to the other side. Guys, I'm never one to use the bust label until I'm 100% sure, but I'm pretty certain that Jameis Winston's a bust. Guys.
Yeah, he's trash.
He's a bust.
Yeah, he's been a bust for a while.
He has. And it took me a while. It took me a while to sort of figure it out. But the fact that we're saying, maybe Jameis Winston is the franchise quarterbacks of the Buccaneers after beating a terrible Panther squad by how many points? Listen, he made a good throw at the to the end zone, was dropped by a receiver. But I think Jameis Winston is a bust, and I think that Cam Newton's best days are behind him. Dr. Ray, I'm going to come to you first. What are your thoughts on the game? What are your thoughts on Jameis Winston and Cam Newton?
I didn't see much of the game. I haven't been watching a whole lot of NFL football for the past year because of my rupture with the league, because of what happened with Anthony Barr and Aaron Rodgers a couple years ago. Okay. And then an old player like myself, Physics being legislated out of the game is it just makes it a buzzkill for me. That said, I have been watching Jameis, and I think the problem more or less with him is a lot of problems with a lot of young NFL quarterbacks nowadays, in that you've had some turnover with offensive coordinators and turnover with offensive lines.
Yes.
And so when you don't have that chemistry, it's look, if you're going to get if it's going to be a singular league, which it is, a singular position league, then there's going to be more pressure at an earlier age on these quarterbacks. You can't develop them like they used to. So there's nobody to sit behind. There's not a quarterback coach or offensive coordinator that's been there for many, many years that can inculcate you to a system. There's a lot of turnover. Somebody has a good year as an offensive coordinator or quarterback coach, they're gone the next year,
right?
And you have to learn a whole new offense. So it places a premium on quick learning curves, and I'm just not sure that Jameis has had it, because he came from a good sustainable culture at Florida State. As for Cam Newton, we've seen him in the Super Bowl, but there's just something missing that you can't really put your finger on with him. He has all the arm talent in the world. Guys
he has the physical
like playing with him.
Yeah.
He's moody, and just looking at this past game, he had those ups and downs. He was under 50%, and sometimes he just doesn't get the ball out on time and wants to focus too much on his running skill. And so what you had was a very, very bad football game on Thursday night, which is what happens a lot of times. So,
yeah, very, very true.
Yeah.
All right, so MLD. What are your thoughts on? Now, you said Jameis Winston is a bust. I think I'm 90% there. Listen, I should be all the way there. This is year 5 for Jameis Winston, and he's still throwing interceptions. He's still fumbling the football. What are your thoughts on Jameis Winston? What are your thoughts on Cam Newton? Where does Cam Newton go from here?
All right. In regards to both of these quarterbacks, look, at the end of the day, there's some guys, much like how we talk about in the dating world, there's alphas and there's betas. Okay, you could give a beta male a Ferrari, $1 million, a $10 million house, but at the end of the day, he's still not going to be able to get the job done. And there's the alpha male, right? The guy that will give him $5 pair of pants from Walmart, $3 shirt, and give him $5 to go pick up a girl in a bar, and he'll come home with the girl every single time. There's some guys that just have that X factor, and some guys that do not have it. Cam Newton does not have it. Jameis Winston also does not have it as well. I saw all I needed to see when the ball was fumbled in the Super Bowl and Cam Newton went to dive after it and he got afraid. And do you remember that slow motion replay?
Oh, yes. Yeah, man.
He was dude, listen, if you want to win the fucking Super Bowl, because that's why Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
It's also, this is also why John Elway put literally, we all remember the famous, the helicopter. He's running for the end zone in Super Bowl 32. I think it was against the Green Bay Packers, right? Yep. Leroy Butler, who's one of the hardest hitting safeties in the league, comes steaming around. Elway didn't slide. He's like, dude, I got to get in here, man. I'm 37 years old. I may never get back here again. I'm 0-3 in Super Bowl so far, so I got to do what I got to do. Cam Newton, when he did that, those are the actions of a man who takes being in the Super Bowl for granted.
Yep. And that's the thing. Look, at the end of the day, sorry, dude, but you don't have what it takes, because the only reason you're playing in the NFL is to win the damn Super Bowl. And if you're not giving it all that you have, you do not belong there. And honestly, with Cam Newton's recent press conference, did you see what the fuck this guy was wearing?
Jesus Christ, dude. What
is Aunt Jemima doing? What is he doing? Like, this is a guy who has just let the millions of dollars get to his fucking head. And I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Cam Newton, physically talented, but Cam Newton is not the leader of the team. And a quarterback, if you're going to be the quarterback, you have to have that alpha male leader edge. Tom Brady has it. Peyton Manning has it. When Peyton Manning would get on the sideline and argue with the defense, like, fuck you guys, your defense, don't tell me we should run the ball. No, don't do any of that shit. You have to have that edge. You have to have that aggression. When Tom Brady yells at people like, catch that fucking ball I threw to you, you catch this fucking ball, you execute. You have to perform. He holds these people to a higher standard. Cam Newton, he just doesn't have that edge, that X factor, that leadership ability that you need as a quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
He's not confrontational. Cam Newton is not a guy who's going to go over Devin Funchess and say, hey, look, man, you're supposed to run a dig route because we read cover 2 like in practice. What the fuck happened, right? Yeah. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, they do that. You want to know who doesn't do that? Ben Roethlisberger doesn't do that. Ben Roethlisberger is a non-confrontational quarterback. Fortunately for him, he's ultra talented, and he has he had 2 really good Hall of Fame level head coaches. He had Hall of Fame talent around him, not taking anything away from him. But being non-confrontational doesn't really get you anywhere. LeBron suffers from the same thing, right?
Yes.
LeBron,
yes.
The only time I saw him be confrontational was when J.R. Smith made that error in last year's NBA Finals Game 1. And it was so obvious to everyone, even LeBron had to say, like, what the hell? LeBron is a passive-aggressive guy. Brady is not. Cam Newton is a passive-aggressive guy. Peyton Manning is not. I agree with you, Jonathan. You have to have that alpha dog in you.
I want to just say, correlating to NBA, and like for a guy who doesn't have it, which would be LeBron, like an example of a guy who did have it, who doesn't play anymore, but like Kobe Bryant, he had it. He had that fucking edge.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant was a fucking dog. Miami J, what are your thoughts on Jameis Winston, Cam Newton? Is Jameis the bust or Cam Newton's best?
Yeah, I think he's a bust.
Okay, I think
he's a bust, and I think Cam's best days are behind him. By the way, also Marcus Mariota is also a bust, who was drafted with Jameis Winston, like 1 and 2 in that draft. That quarterback class has failed miserably. I think, and not because he was a Dolphin, but I think Ryan Tannehill is going to be the starter of the Tennessee Titans before the season's out.
Wow, no,
I think he's a much better quarterback than Mariota.
Okay. All right. I like them too.
I think the Titans are going to take that division now, though. Now that Luck is gone.
Yeah, the Luck is gone. Yeah, it's the Titans' division to lose. It's either the Titans or the Texans. I'm going with the Texans because.
I'll tell you. I think I like the Texans to win, but if the Titans are going to win a few games this year solely on Derrick Henry's back.
Yep.
They're going to run him into the ground.
Agree 100%. Agree 100%. Clutch, you now have what I believe to be the best beard on the panel now. I had the best beard on the panel until Miami J came in. He had the best beard on the panel you got here. So Miami J, wait a minute. Hold on now. Let's not compare beard games. What are your thoughts? Jameis Winston, Cam Newton. Is Jameis a bust? Are Cam Newton's best days behind him? And do you think Cam Newton is still hurt? Somebody said in the chat that that Cam Newton is still hurt. I believe he's still hurt. What say you?
Oh, that's a good theory.
Look, hey, sorry. Before he goes, I don't know if he's still hurt, but he definitely looks old for sure.
Yes. Right.
Cam looks older out there than Tom Brady does.
He does. And this is because Cam Newton has taken more hits in one season than Tom Brady's taken in the last decade.
So true, man. Protection is everything, man.
I agree. In dating and in football. I see what I did there.
One thing I noticed about these two quarterbacks, Cam Newton and Jameis Winston, both of them, I hate to say this, both of them remind me of the kind of quarterbacks who had weak guidance from their fathers.
Ooh.
I hate to say it, but
you're right.
Yep. Throughout history, I'm not sure if their fathers were around. I think Jameis Winston's and Cam Newton's fathers were around, but I'm not sure how much of a presence they had in their lives.
Was around. Cam Newton's father, Cecil Newton, was involved in that. Hey, $280,000 to maybe go play for Mississippi State, whatever the case may be. So
yes. And as far as Jameis Winston's father, I don't know, but this rubs me.
Jameis Winston's father was very strongly involved in his life.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good.
Yeah. But as far as that's concerned, look, the role that a father plays in one son's life determines everything. And this is especially true when it comes to a sport like football, where you're basically dealing with multiple elements of leadership as well as courage and other things which separates the winners from the losers and the champions from just plain winners. And people like Cam Newton and Jameis Winston have that, and I'm going to say this just because I can, that single mother kind of swag to them.
Yep.
Differentiating them from quarterbacks who seem to have leadership and, more importantly, who seem to have a guidance from either a father or from an older male figure. I'll put some names. Deshaun Watson, for instance.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And you can tell just by the way Deshaun Watson carries himself at the podium. Dak Prescott's another one.
Thank you, Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott is a grown-up. You can trust him at the mic. You can trust him off the field.
Dak Prescott reminds me a little bit of Tim Tebow.
He used
in
his character, not the way he plays.
Okay.
Far better.
Okay.
I can see that character. Definitely not play style. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, the difference that I see between like your Cam Newtons and Jameis Winston versus your Dak Prescotts and your Deshaun Watsons is basically just the lack of leadership I see. And that's the reason why I think that these two, or the former two, one is a bust, and two will never reach the maximum potential that he has. Because in case of Cam Newton, I mean, obviously, it's like LeBron James. He has the raw talent. He can run, and he can stay in the pocket enough to make some plays happen. Granted, to be fair, in the case of Cam Newton, he hasn't had a lot of offensive weapons on the wide receiver side as of late. I know.
I agree. He's got Christian McCaffrey, but he's never really had a plethora of. I got you.
Yeah, and I think because of the Panthers organization realizing that, he can run as well. He doesn't need beast wide receivers to assist him.
Right.
Definitely not the case.
Quickly here, big thanks goes out to Charles Caballero with the $1.99 super chat. Says Cam went vegan. He's got no strength in him. I did hear that Cam Newton has gone vegan. That might be one of the main reasons why he doesn't seem to look like a man at press conferences anymore. The guys are making really good points in chats. Hang on one second. Let me get to these here. So Big Brandon says, but Dak is a single parent kid as well. Absolutely. Dak Prescott's dad left. His mother died, I think, while he was in college. There are exceptions to the rule. So I'm not gonna say that if you don't have a father at home, you cannot become a great leader. Dak Prescott is obviously a shining example of that. That being said, just because you have a father, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a good leader either. See Cam Newton, right? Exactly. When I think of professional athletes, and area code 682, I see you on the line. We're going to get to you right after this. When I think of professional athletes who obviously had strong fathers, I think of guys like Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Derek Jeter. These men, they were men. They were confrontational. They were alpha dogs. Okay, Cecil Newton was there in Cam Newton's life, and maybe whoever Jameis Winston's father was present in his life. Obviously, they weren't a strong enough figure, or at least not to the point to where they sat their sons and said, "Hey, listen, this is what you have to do to lead. This is what you have to be." Baker Mayfield is another really good example. Okay, he gets a little kooky with his antics, but I don't know. And I think the only people that don't like Baker Mayfield are people who wish they had that about them. Colin Cowherd is all over Baker Mayfield all the time. And my guess is because Colin Cowherd, who is probably the best sports talk radio guy, I think, in history, but I think that he admires Baker Mayfield for his bravado, for his moxie, for his machismo. And I think his age sort of makes him delve into other areas. Well, you have to be quarterbackial, as he likes to say. So yeah. So again, to put a bow on this, okay, listen, if you are raised without a father as a professional athlete, that doesn't mean you're not going to be a good leader, but chances are you probably won't be. There's only one Dak Prescott in the league. There are a million, I guess I should say, Deshaun Watsons. The better a father you have, the better leader you are. Let us go to the phone lines. Area code 682. You are on live with the panel. Go ahead. Yes, area code 682. Okay, area code 682 is gone. Let's talk about the second game.
Donovan, quick. Let me throw one quick thing out to the
go ahead.
Group.
Sure.
Tom Brady's been a vegan for 10 years now.
Are you kidding?
No, he's not vegan. He's not vegan. He eats salmon and stuff like that.
For 10 years.
Are you serious?
No, he's been a vegan for 10 years.
No, dude, he eats salmon. He eats salmon.
They talk, and 90% of what he eats is like vegetable juices and things like that.
Okay. All right. Well, all right, that's fine.
They did. Yeah.
No. I get it. I get it.
Wait, can you not hear me? He's not vegan.
Hang on. Don't be like that. If Cam Newton,
no, I just want to make sure it didn't work. I don't know if it was working. Or not.
I understand that. I don't know if Tom Brady is a vegan or not. I'm having two people telling me two different things. I'm not going to make a definitive statement on that one way or another. I will say this though, if Cam Newton if he really is a vegan at his size, it's obviously going to hurt him because that dude is a genetic freaking freak. All right, let's go to the second game on the docket. Sure. We probably won't get to all of these, so we'll get to the tastiest. The next one is the Cardinals against the Ravens. So we got Kyler Murray and the aforementioned Clint Kingsbury against the wild and gamey John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, right? So two, I guess, revolutionary quarterbacks who are supposed to change the game. And I'm going to start this discussion off by saying this. Every time something new comes along, we always want to think it changes the NFL. We all remember back in 2008, 2009, when the Miami Dolphins ran the Wildcat. It was Ronnie Brown and taking the snap, and the Patriots didn't know what hit him. And by the way, New England seems to be allergic to Miami. Every time the Patriots go down to Miami, something zany happens and they end up losing, but they still beat everybody. But the running quarterback, you look at guys like Mike, guys like Cam Newton, they're always hurt. They almost never last. There's no such thing as an old running quarterback. John Elway was running quarterback when he was young, not so much later on. Steve Young was a running quarterback young, not so much later on. So I'm going to pass this question to you first, Doctor. Do you think that Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson will sort of change the game, or do you think that, hey, listen, if you want to survive in this league, if you want to be good, you got to be a pocket passer?
Well, there's a lot to unpack in that question. First of all, one of the things that makes for a very good, it goes back to some of the things I was saying earlier in terms of consistency, is consistency of also offensive line play. And when you have when you have turnover with the offensive line coach or the offensive line in general, which Tom Brady really hasn't had, and Peyton Manning during the course of his career for the most part didn't have, then if you don't have that sustainability or that consistency, then maybe the idea is to have someone that can move the pocket around just a little bit,
sure.
Like Russell Wilson as well.
There you go.
That can create different sight lines with the ball, because I mean, let's face it, we really don't have the dogs at the offensive line that we used to, because a lot of them are being raised up in these spread offenses, which are a little bit more passive. So they don't really have the killer instinct that they used to. So maybe you need somebody that can survive a little bit. Getting to Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson in particular, I'm not so sure that we can say that there's a binary here. Neither of these guys is Eric Crouch. Okay, and particularly Lamar Jackson, I've seen him throw the football. He can make every single throw. Okay. I'm not Kyler Murray to a lesser extent, yes, but Lamar Jackson, I remember him. If you win at Louisville, all right, and you beat the likes of Florida State and other top teams,
I agree.
Louisville with that level of talent, yeah, you've got something going on there. He can throw the deep out, he can throw the short out, he can throw the seam.
It does appear that he can make all the throws.
So, yeah. What's that?
It does appear that he can make all the throws.
Yeah.
MLD, what are your thoughts? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, continue. I don't want to monopolize.
Right. MLD, what are your thoughts? Now, some guys in the chat are saying Lamar Jackson can read defense. Some guys say that Lamar Jackson needs to learn to read defenses. There's only one player who plays now who I've watched every snap of his career, and I've also watched every snap of his bones. That's Carson Wentz, right? I know Carson Wentz can read defenses because I see him reading defenses. Do you think Lamar Jackson is reading defenses? Is he relying on his feet, or is it scheming? Like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I just don't. I didn't pay too much attention to that. I think I can't give too much weight to him because he's a quarterback for the Ravens, correct?
That's correct.
And I mean, they just stomped a hole in the Dolphins. And but I mean, the Dolphins are. I heard after that game, so many Dolphins have been filing for like trades and stuff as well. So I just think that it's too much.
Not a very good example, right?
It's just too early to make a determination. But obviously, I mean, they got rid of Flacco, who won a Super Bowl, so for this guy. So I mean, they must be betting on some sort of potential. I mean, where did he accomplish in college ball?
Lamar Jackson won the Heisman Trophy.
Won a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he win? Did he win the?
No, he didn't. He didn't. And guys, well, hold on. I think if college football has taught us anything about quarterbacks specifically, success in college does not necessarily equal success in the NFL.
For sure.
Listen, Gino Torretta, Andre Ware, Danny Warfel. Dude, Danny Warfel's had all kinds of records at Florida. He got to the league.
Tim Tebow. You know?
Why is it always the Gator quarterbacks?
Well, it's every USC quarterback.
Well, because as a college quarterback, especially in the SEC back in the early 90s, Danny Warfel, dude, he had Jaquez Green, Reedell Anthony, and Ike Hilliard. All they were doing was running outs. Warfel threw the ball up, and whoever was up underneath it happened to catch it and run for the touchdown. Now, they ran into Florida State mid-year, and Florida State beat them up, but then they saw him in the Sugar Bowl later on, and they exacted revenge. But the point is that success in college does not necessarily equal success in the NFL. That being said, there are a lot of unheralded college quarterbacks who are really good. One comes to mind, a guy named Tom Brady. He sat behind Drew Henson at Michigan, I think, for 2 years. Drew Henson gets drafted by the Yankees, decides to go play professional football. All Tom Brady does is go and wins the Rose Bowl for Michigan for the first time in like 2 decades. He still gets drafted 6th overall. We all know the story from there. So again, continue with your thought, MLD, because I agree with you. I think that I don't think we've seen enough from Lamar Jackson, because we saw the way he looked against San Diego against the LA Chargers in the playoffs. He looked completely befuddled. So do you think he can make that leap? Because a lot of people think he can, but some people aren't necessarily sold.
I'm not going to pretend I know, to be honest. I've not been watching this guy whatsoever, but I will just say that I watched the Cardinals and a Detroit game I watched the tail end of it because it was after, they went to overtime. So I think I was watching the Cowboys game, and then they put that on after. Or it was the Cowboys game or the Patriots game. But the Cardinals made one hell of an effort to get that game into overtime. And I don't know if you watched that. So I don't know. We'll see, because I think that after seeing Miami perform the way they did, I can't really – it would be like saying Dallas is a Super Bowl winning team because we just beat the Giants. Let's be honest, right? So I just think that there's not too much evidence there. But I would have to say, just going off the pure, dude logic, I would say that probably Baltimore's going to win.
Okay, good stuff. Miami J.
Can I jump in right quick down there before we go to the next question?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say with Lamar Jackson, what I'm also going on is what he did last year, and there's a reason why they stepped away from Joe Flacco.
Okay.
And if you look at Baltimore, they have a culture with John Harbaugh being there for so many years. A lot of teams that don't have it, so he has to trust the organization. And when you have a coach that has to trust the organization over the course of a long period of time,
agreed,
he's been able to instill a system. Yeah, and now you have a guy like Lamar Jackson who was able to learn for a year under Joe Flacco, and behind those guys and behind a veteran team with guys like with guys like Suggs, and having mentors coming back like Ray Lewis. I think he's
Eric Weddle.
He got to the playoffs last year. He looked befuddled, but I think he can make that next step because he's already shown that it's a growing process, but you're not going to get it all. We have instant gratification,
sure,
which is something that as Red Pill we have to think about a little bit. Is that not all men develop very, very quickly. We don't want instant gratification. We want to be able to develop over a long period of time. And I think he's showing that he didn't get it all at once.
I agree. And before I go to Miami J, those and area code 501, I see you in the queue. I'm going to get to you in just a second. Those of us who are old enough to remember when NFL teams drafted rookie quarterbacks, they would sit on the bench for 2 or 3 years before they got the start. The Eagles did it in 2001. They drafted Donovan McNabb. He sat behind, I forgot who Jesus Christ, can't believe I don't remember that. But I do know that Doug Peterson was a quarterback who was on the Eagles team that year. But now rookies are thrown right in. Right? Matt Ryan, as a rookie, his very first pass in the NFL was a 62-yard touchdown pass, and that was the end of the Michael Vick era. But back in the day, rookie quarterbacks just didn't start as much, if ever, but now rookies start all the time. And if a rookie doesn't look good, we're quick to sort of throw him away. Here's the perfect example of what Doctori just said. Jared Goff, we were all ready to write him off as a bust because he had a terrible year. Well, it had more to do with the city and the coach. Jeff Fisher gets fired. In comes Sean McVay. Jared Goff takes the Rams to the Super Bowl, and now he's the highest paid. Well, he is, at least for the next 10 minutes, he has the most guaranteed contract money in NFL history. So I think being a late bloomer certainly factors into that. So Miami J, I'm coming to you. What are your thoughts on Lamar Jackson? Can he do it? Can he not do it? Can Kyler Murray do it? Because they're pretty much the same player.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I think what you just said about rookie quarterbacks being thrown right in, I think a quarterback's rookie year, you have to almost discount it. It shouldn't count toward, whatever the hell we're talking about, because the rookies, most of them fail miserably, and second year, third year is when you start seeing that progression. Look at Trubisky out in Chicago. He had a horrible first year. His second year, he picked it up. And then, I've been watching a lot of NFL. This week. Everybody in
year, he wins 11 games and gets
exactly. Look at two quarterbacks who sat their rookie years, Peyton Manning and Pat Mahomes.
No,
they're doing all right. Manning, they're all right.
No, Peyton Manning did not sit his rookie year. Pat Mahomes did, but you make a good point because they helped Pat Mahomes.
Of course. Anyway, about Lamar Jackson, I watched NFL Network all week, and everybody's ready to crown him because he had an amazing game against Miami, perfect passer rating. I don't think he and Baltimore are that good. I think Miami was that bad.
Okay.
I mean, Marquise Brown was wide open all over the field, busted coverage. I mean, I was at the game, and it was crazy bad.
Listen, any defense, and not to take anything away from Lamar, because guess what? He's an NFL quarterback, and I'm not. He reads defenses better than me.
Exactly.
Relative to everyone around him, listen, man, if you let a guy like Lamar Jackson, who's a second-year guy, basically a rookie and a half, carve you up for five touchdown passes, then I think that definitely speaks to the level of life.
Now, having said all that, are we picking these with or without the spread?
No, we're not doing the spread this week. We'll probably do something like that next week.
All right,
because that'll be.
I think Baltimore will win the game, but Arizona will probably cover the 14 point spread.
Oh yeah, no, that I agree with. 13 points right in Baltimore. Clutch, what you got, man?
I honestly think they will win, and they will win beyond the spread.
Oh, wow!
What's the spread?
13. Yeah, on it.
13 and a half.
Huge in the NFL.
That is huge, dude. That is big.
Well, Miami, New England is 18 and a half. That's the biggest spread I've ever seen.
That's the biggest spread I've ever seen, but I would not bet the under.
No.
I don't think New England covers.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. But as far as Lamar Jackson goes, first of all, you have to. Do we all not remember the score from last week? 59-10.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it week 1 of the NFL? Week 1 of college football? I mean, the Miami Dolphins looked like a Division II college. They looked like an arena football team in comparison.
They really did. They really, really did.
Even with the Miami Dolphins and the fire, whatever it is, the burning fire barn that it is, you shouldn't go down 59.
Yes.
Here, hey, Don, let me say something. To take it back to your point about rookie quarterbacks, look at the horrible position that Josh Rosen was thrown into in Arizona and now in Miami.
Yeah, man.
This kid, very talented. Like, he didn't get picked number 1, but coming out when that class graduated, yeah, he was going to be the number 1 pick. And then Darnold and Baker Mayfield started running good campaigns, I guess. But Rosen was the guy, and he's been put in a crappy position. This guy's going to end up being a career backup just because his first 2 years he got put into that position. Before
I get to the phone call, area code 501, what Miami J just said matters more than people realize. It absolutely. Listen, you have to have talent to play professional football. The game is faster. Guys are bigger, faster, stronger. We all know that. But culture matters. The team you get drafted by absolutely matters. Ben Roethlisberger is not a 2-time Super Bowl champion in 3 tries if he gets drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, right? Tom Brady doesn't win 6 Super Bowls if he's drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, right? Maybe Andy Dalton wins 3 Super Bowls.
Bill Belichick gets, or if Bill Belichick starts to lose the face, he was starting to lose the face of the of the front office, and then Drew Bledsoe gets hurt.
That's right.
And
That's right. And the rest is history.
changed.
Guys, listen, I was sitting at Jack Astor's. I'll never get it. I was watching the game. Drew Bledsoe, pocket collapses. He runs off, tries to get a few extra yards. Mo Lewis comes out of nowhere and destroys Drew Bledsoe. In comes the skinny little kid from Michigan, and the rest is history. Who would have thunk it? The point is that you have to have a good – Carson Wentz would not be what he is, minus the injuries, if not for the organization, right? Yeah. He had Frank Reich, offensive.
Look at this. What happens if Aaron Rodgers doesn't drop 20? What happens if he gets picked up by the Cleveland Browns or Cincinnati Bengals or what?
What if Aaron Rodgers is drafted number 1 overall by the Niners and Alex Smith is drafted number 22 overall by the Packers, right? Culture absolutely matters. So it always rubs me the wrong way. Well, he's a system quarterback. Everybody's a system quarterback. Nobody comes to the NFL knowing the system. Lamar Jackson is in a uniquely good position. John Harbaugh's got the cred. He's won a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco's not showing his worth, the Harbaugh pedigree and all that. I think Lamar Jackson, I don't know, the jury's still out on him. I'll be interested to see that. We got to go to
I'm watching this.
Teddy Bruschi said today that for what it's worth, he said that Miami, for the most part, had everything schemed against Baltimore pretty well, and Lamar was just making the pass.
There you go.
Okay. They were small.
Don, I want to say this, man. I'm watching the highlights right now of the Ravens, dude. They just look like a young, fresh team. They just fucking hungry, man. They look like they got young. Are these guys? Are they all young and healthy? It looks like they are.
They're young and healthy, and their new strong safety is Earl Thomas, right? Earl Thomas is playing with a chip on his shoulder. Earl Thomas is a Hall of Famer, probably one of the fastest players in the league. Watch out for Baltimore, man. Watch out for those guys. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to area code 501. You are on live with the panel. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
You bringing up just what a crapshoot it is to play in the NFL reminds me. I'm a Razorback fan, obviously being from Arkansas, and do you guys remember when Darren McFadden and Felix Jones?
Yes. Oh God, that backfield was incredible.
Anybody that would say Felix Jones is going to have a more successful NFL career, you would have been laughed out of whatever building you were in. And that's exactly what happened, because Oakland picked up McFadden, didn't give him any kind of protection.
Nope.
He got beat up for 4 years. And Jones, although he wasn't like a premier back, he made yardage.
Right.
And you're absolutely right on that. I mean, you might as well just pick a number on a roulette wheel as far as probability to, like how your talent adds to success.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous. You mentioned Roethlisberger. Do we remember where Roethlisberger went to college?
Miami of Ohio.
Somebody please. Okay, thank you. Now we know that Miami is also in Ohio.
Right.
It's just not ridiculous.
It's unbelievable, man. It matters. It absolutely matters, man.
Don, I'll
beat up for 4 years. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, caller. My bad. My bad. Go ahead, brother.
No, McFadden, the better of the two backs that we put out in that same draft year, goes to Oakland, gets beat up and injured for 4 years. And then finally Jones picks him up in Dallas when he's just a wreck. And we can't put Humpty Dumpty together again.
And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, you're an Arkansas Razorbacks fan. That was back when Bobby Petrino was the coach there and Ryan Mallett was the quarterback. Am I wrong there?
No, you're right.
Okay.
Mallett, Houston Nutt was the head coach before Petrino.
Right.
And Nutt had both Jones and McFadden. And I think Petrino had maybe 1 year of both of them. I'm not sure about that, but I want to say that Petrino had McFadden and Jones for his first year.
He definitely had talent. Thanks for the call, area code 501. Very, very good call. Let's go. Listen, let's go to the next game. And I don't want to really talk about this next game. I want to talk about a particular player or players in this next game. the Washington Redskins against the Dallas Cowboys. Guys, Dak Prescott, man. I mean, Dak Prescott he's about to get paid. And both sides are right. Jerry Jones doesn't want to make him the highest paid quarterback in the league, but Dak Prescott wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. Everyone is, and the guy that everyone compares Dak Prescott to is Carson Wentz. Well, and here's the thing, take nothing away from Dak Prescott. I think he's won the most games in the last 3 or 4 years. He's putting up great numbers, but here's what I would say about this. And if I'm Jerry Jones, you got to pay Dak Prescott. He might not be that good on other teams, but he's good in Dallas, and that's really all that matters. You keep that offensive line together. You've got Zeke for the next 5 or 6 years. Amari Cooper is going to be there, so I think Dak is going to be good for your team. But I will say this. In terms of raw talent, I think it's all very clear that Carson Wentz is the better talent. Now, on the other side, the best ability is availability. This is where Carson Wentz falls dangerously short. All of that said, just think about it like this, guys. If Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, even with their history, were to hit the market right now, it is my belief is that Carson Wentz would be signed first. That's number one. Number two, the Philadelphia Eagles dealt away a Super Bowl MVP. They released a Super Bowl MVP quarterback. Why? Because they had Carson Wentz. They had a choice to make, Nick Foles or Carson Wentz. They decided to trade away their Super Bowl MVP because Carson Wentz is clearly the better quarterback. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Just because you put up great numbers doesn't mean you're a great quarterback. But I think Dak Prescott, he's actually starting to change my mind a little bit. I didn't really think he was that good back in 2014 or 2015 when the Cowboys went 13-3. Maybe I didn't give him enough credit, right? Dak Prescott is starting to win me over. That being said, he's not a $40 million a year quarterback, but you got to pay him. You have to pay him. He at this point, he's earned it. Dr. I'm going to come to you first. I'm going to ask you this, and I can't answer this question because I'm biased. I'm going to say Wentz is better because I've watched every snap of his career. But in your estimation, who is the better quarterback, Carson Wentz or Dak Prescott? And if you were Jerry Jones, what would you pay Dak Prescott?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to take your second question first.
Okay.
Now, the thing that's working for Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys is the NFL salary structure.
Okay. The
thing that's working against Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys is the NFL salary structure. Now, that may seem contradictory. Let me explain.
Okay.
On the good side, on the bad, the thing that's working for them is the thing that's working against them is that the NFL has more of a hard salary cap. The thing that works in favor of them is all fucking monopoly money. Okay.
Yeah.
You can pay somebody in signing bonus. That doesn't count as much against the cap. So you can front load it or you can back load it.
Right.
So they're going to be all right. I'm not too worried about them. Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, they're wizards at dealing with the salary cap. They've already paid 3 players already, and they've been able to keep that offensive line together. I don't know how they've done it, but they'll figure something out.
Jesus
so
Christ.
I can't say how much he's going to make, but I will say this: they will take good care of him, even if they have to front load him a little bit. They front loaded Zeke, so I think they're going to leave more money on the back end for the salary cap for Dak Prescott. So I think that's what they're going to do is going to give him more of a long-term deal.
Okay, very good.
And not a signing bonus heavy deal. Now, in terms of who's better, him or Carson Wentz, well, I have a little bit of a bias too because I went to the University of Arizona, bear down, and Nick Foles is from the University of Arizona. So there was a smile on my face when he was the first Arizona quarterback to win a Super Bowl. But I will say this. He won in Philadelphia with 2 different systems and 2 different offensive coordinators,
That's
2
right.
different coaches. So let's give him some credit. But also, getting to your question, it's really a hard sell right now, but I'm going to have to go with Carson Wentz because he has to do more, I'll have to say.
Yep.
He has to do more with less. Now, and he doesn't have the interior, the center, and the 2 guards that they have at Dallas. I'm forgetting the name.
I would say that I would actually say this, Doc. Sorry, I would Carson Wentz, the Eagles. And here's the thing, maybe because you haven't really kept up with football here the past few months. The Eagles are loaded. We are loaded. Okay, we probably have probably second to maybe the Cowboys. The Eagles have the most talent on both sides of the football. We have I believe we have the best offensive line in football. Hall of Famer Jason Peters on the left side. You got Lane Johnson on the right side. Jason Kelsey is the center. We have 24 running backs, one of which who is Jordan Howard, right? Jordan Howard. When else? I mean, we've got.
But haven't shown they can mesh yet. Has the offensive line shown it can mesh yet?
Yeah, I think they definitely have, and I think they definitely have to. And I think the marching orders of this, and I'm going to get to you in a second, MLD. The marching orders of this. Doug Peterson pulls the offensive line aside and says, "Listen, we just gave this kid $109 million. Okay." You have to keep him clean. If he's not clean, guys, we're not going to win. So if you have to hold, if you have to chop block, whatever you have to do, make sure nobody touches 11. And I think that's probably, and of course, you got to talk to Carson. Carson, you're not Superman, dude. Like you can run around in college. You can't do that in the NFL. Everybody's big and everybody's fast. Very, very good point there. MLD, what do you think?
I want to go back real quick 1 second to LeVar Johnson. I just watched the replay of him playing.
LeVar Johnson?
Oh, I just want to say he reminds me of
dude. It's Lamar Jackson, man.
Sorry, Lamar Jackson. He looks like Vic in his prime when he was playing right when he played for the Eagles. That's what he reminds me of. But I think that the Ravens are going to win for sure. Going back to Dak Prescott, what does he want? 40 million? What is he?
I think he says he wants 40 million so he can get 35. I don't think he wants 40 million. But,
I think money ruins a lot of players. I really think it takes the fire. It takes the wind out of their sails. It takes the fire out of their steps. Like, and if you pay the guys, I don't know, man. I think that's the incentive to play. Kind of, you have to have the guys that just like want to win. And honestly, I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't see Dak Prescott as that guy who has the edge. I think he is also missing that edge. He doesn't have it like Tom Brady. He doesn't have it like Peyton Manning. He doesn't have it like Aaron Rodgers. But I do think he can play more of a little bit of an above average utility quarterback. Like he could kind of be like a game player, kind of like Joe Flacco when he won with the Ravens and the other Ravens Super Bowl winner. What was his name?
Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, Trent Dilfer, exactly. So his name's so forgettable. But I just don't think that he's that good. However, I do, after watching the Cowboys game last week. Now it's kind of equivalent to us like playing the Dolphins. The Giants, they're struggling. They're probably the crappiest team in our division right now. I think
so.
And it's pretty bad when the Redskins are better than you. That being said, I think that we have a pretty well rounded team. I would say that Dak is pretty good. I would say that we've got Gallup is an up and coming star. We've got what's his name from the Packers that just came over.
Amari Cooper.
No, Cooper came
Cobb.
from. Cobb is a threat, and then Amari Cooper, dude. Dak was lacing this guy, dude. Like he was throwing some risky passes, but he was just getting him right in there. And then to top it all off, we've got Ezekiel Elliott, who's still fat boy after chilling in fucking Mexico, and he still put up some. Did he do 100 yards less?
Almost. I think it was like 50-something yards, but he'll be fine. Like Zeke Elliott, he's the best. He's going to run himself into game shape. By game 3, he's going to be up over. He's going to be doing 150 yards a game.
And he's like what, 22?
Yeah, he's
this kid can wake up and eat like Captain Crunch and be okay.
Right. Miami J, what are your thoughts? And Area Code 214, I see you just jumped in the queue. We're going to get to you after we get the clutch. Miami J, better is it Prescott or Wentz? And how much would you pay Prescott?
I think Wentz is the better quarterback. I think Prescott's in the better situation.
Okay.
So I think Prescott's probably going to have the better season. As far as his pay, I think Jerry Jones, I don't think he's going to sign him too long term. I think he's going to get a Kirk Cousins style contract.
Oh,
maybe he'll get like $100 million fully guaranteed for 3 years.
You know what, dude? I agree. I think that's
something like that.
I heard that. Whoever that was, I never.
Having said that, I think another interesting thing about this game to mention is you gotta feel sorry for Darius Guice, dude.
Oh my God!
This guy is one of the most talented running backs to come out of college in a long time, and
Darren McFadden all over.
Second year in a row, he's going to lose it.
Darren McFadden.
Yeah, exactly. But having said that, obviously, I think the Cowboys win.
Excellent. All right, clutch. Okay. Who's the better quarterback, Carson or Dak? How much do you pay Dak?
All right. So before I talk to that, on the other game we talked about, so what was I about to say? Watch out for the wide receiver, Antonio Brown's cousin, Marquise Brown. That's all I'm going to say about the Ravens. And as far as Lamar Jackson, the criticism about him not being able to read defenses and be able to run the pocket, that was answered last Sunday. And I think that's a true vindication of his offseason. But on the game today between Dak Prescott, well, he's the better he has the better weapons, I should say. And to be honest, I wouldn't pay him anything above 30 mil average per year, how many years you do it, mainly because you have better weapons. I mean, the Eagles quarterback, he has weapons. Yes, Deshaun Jackson's back, but how long is that really going to last?
Yeah, a couple of years maybe.
I get a year, honestly.
Deshaun Jackson's on his way out for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had a balling day last Sunday, but I think that was like a once in a blue moon fluke.
Flash in the pan thing. All right, we'll see.
But yeah.
But before we move on, because we gotta get to the calls.
Carson Wentz is the better quarterback. Yeah.
Okay. Now this is interesting because everybody, I think everybody on the panel, I think MLD. Do you think Carson is better or is Dak better to you?
I mean, I haven't seen Carson do too much. I mean, he was pretty good. He was hardcore injured for a while. Dak is not something a mind-blowing quarterback. I mean, he Carson Wentz got you guys pretty much all the way to the playoffs, and Nick Foles picked up the slack. But yeah, I would have to say probably based off of his accomplishments. Obviously, Carson Wentz is better, but we don't have too much data on this guy to see what he's really made of yet.
Well, he had a super season in 2017. If Carson Wentz doesn't get hurt, he is the MVP in 2017. That is clear. Up till that point, I think he threw 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. We were 11-1. The one team that beat us was the Chiefs in week 2. Kareem Hunt ran all over us, just like he did the New England Patriots back in week 1. But I think a lot of now I'm biased, right? Of course, I'm going to be Team Wentz all the way. But I think that the Wentz versus Dak discussion, a lot of times when you're talking to people who are not objective, it really goes down racial lines. Black people, for the most part, that I've heard, they say Dak Prescott is the better quarterback, and they say, oh, he's got better numbers than the other. And white people say, Carson. Now, I'm not saying that this is right down the middle, but it would appear, and my brother he's the quintessential example of this. He is like, he wants black quarterbacks to do well. Because he's black, we're going to identify with the people that we have the most in common with in terms of skin tone. As far as I'm concerned, I think Dak Prescott has obviously accomplished a lot more. He has accomplished a hell of a lot more than Carson Wentz. That being said, the fact that Carson Wentz already has his deal and has $109 million guaranteed and the Eagles are all in on him, I think that tells you all you need to know about talent. Whether or not Wentz can stay healthy, we'll see. I hope he can. We'll see what happens. One thing about Dak, he's mature, he's a winner, and he's durable. I agree with Clutch. I say you don't pay him over $30 million, but by the same token, like Miami J said, I think if Jerry and Stephen Jones were smart, I think they would go the Kirk Cousins route. Dak, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you $100 million fully guaranteed. This is $33.3 million for the next 3 seasons. If you can get us to the playoffs or win us a Super Bowl or a Super Bowl appearance, then we can talk. I think that's probably the best way out, and then maybe front load it so it doesn't kill your salary cap. 914-205.
It's sort of like Dan Marino versus Troy Aikman, I think.
There you go. Or Dan Marino versus Joe Montana.
The Cowboy model. You look at the Cowboy model since Jerry Jones has been there, and that is surround the quarterback with a lot of weapons.
Right.
That's always been Jerry Jones' model.
Absolutely. So. Big Brandon with an excellent comment. He says, that full situation reminds me of Jeff Hostetler with the Giants in 1990. Yes, Jeff Hostetler came in and won Super Bowl 25 against the New York Giants. It was played in Tampa, Florida, Whitney Houston, and all that stuff. Phil Simms was hurt. Jeff Hostetler came in and won the Super Bowl. Guess what? Hostetler ended up getting traded to the Raiders. Phil Simms finished out his career in New York. So talent is there. Talent is talent. That's all there is to it. And Eagles fans, they need to get over Nick Foles.
Phil Simms had already won a Super Bowl.
Right, exactly. He won Super Bowl 22, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. He'd already shown he could win.
He'd already shown. Okay, very good. Good point. Area code 214, you are on live with the panel. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Donovan and fellas? I'm calling from Dallas, Texas, so I'm gonna kind of plug just a little bit here. No.
You say your part, brother. You say your part.
So listen, if you all have never been to Dallas, this is a great time to come. I mean, the fall. I mean, you got football is back.
Yeah, the weather, yeah.
The State Fair of Texas is coming up. You know, the world-renowned State Fair of Texas. And on October the 12th, which is actually my 29th birthday, that is the day they're going to have the annual rivalry game between Texas and OU right up here in Dallas.
Red River Shootout.
Great time to
The Red River Shootout.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They don't call it the Red River Shootout anymore. They call it the Red River Rivalry because oh my God, they're talking about guns. Jesus fucking Christ.
How about Texas have more balls than that?
Unbelievable.
They still call it the Red River Shootout too. So,
Good.
yeah,
I'm glad. Well, on TV they call it the Red River Rivalry. It's like, when the hell did that happen?
How about Texas? Okay, whatever.
That's ridiculous.
It's celebratory. That's why. That's why.
So another thing I kind of wanted to kind of backtrack. You guys were talking about Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say don't sleep on Kyler Murray. Here's another Dallas plug. He won 3 state championships in a row at Allen High School, which is like a suburb here in Dallas. And I mean, the kid is a baller. Like, don't sleep on him. Don't be surprised if in the next couple of years he is like the face of the NFL. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And then the last comment I wanted to make is in regards to the whole Prescott versus Wentz conversation. I mean, and Donovan, you just literally said this, as far as like it being a divide along racial lines. I couldn't agree with you more on that. Basically, I look at it like this. If Dak Prescott, were Tim Tebow, for example, I mean, the guy goes 13-3. He goes 13-3 his rookie year. Could you imagine how the media would be hailing him as like the next football Jesus? I mean, seriously, the things that he's done, it's just been amazing. And so I'm just like, well, what's the confusion? Why not pay this guy? And that's the only thing that I can kind of point to is like, he's not, he doesn't have that complex, to put it that way.
No, and now hold on. You're talking about, real quick, caller. Hold on. Hang on. Okay. I don't like when people talk through me. You got to go. Like, I told you to hold on. If you're going to continue talking while I'm talking, you got to go. Don't talk through me. The caller made a very good point, but that's not the point I was talking about. The divide along racial lines, that's among fans. Okay. That is among fans. But Jerry and Stephen Jones are not paying Dak Prescott because he's a black quarterback. That's the one thing about the NFL. It is a meritocracy. If you are the best, you will be paid like the best, regardless of your skin tone. If Carson Wentz were black and Dak Prescott were white, you switch the complexions, guess what? It would literally be the same thing. We'd have black Carson Wentz or Carson Wentz if he was raised by a single mother. We'd have Carson Wentz, right? And then we'd have Dakota Prescott. Guess what? He still would not have been signed. By the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if he were Tim Tebow, then but guess what? Tim Tebow beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs.
Damn right, baby.
The world hailed him as touchdown Jesus. Guess what? Tim Tebow didn't sniff the NFL really too much after that. So I don't buy the fact that because the owners don't want to pay black professional. You guys remember who the first ever unrestricted free agent was in NFL history? He was a guy by the name of Warren Moon, right? Every team wanted Warren Moon. He had won 5 Grey Cups up in Edmonton. Of course, now then it was definitely a racial thing. Well, black quarterbacks can't read defenses. Warren Moon clearly showed that he could read defenses. Came down to Houston, ran the run and shoot offense, right? And he was the highest paid player, I think, for 10 minutes and on and on and on. So I think the racial divide is more so along the fan standpoint. I don't think it's an owner thing. If anybody disagrees, you can more.
So of course, and why did Warren Moon have to go to Canada for 5 years too?
Yeah, exactly. Because the NFL didn't think that he could read defenses, right? But again, Warren Moon has.
Back then they didn't. Back then you couldn't get. I mean, I think times are different now.
Sure.
But let's not pretend that we can go back to Al Campana saying black managers didn't have the necessities, and Cito Gaston had to prove that black managers could win. It's the same thing.
Right.
People didn't believe back then that black people had the capacity mentally to be able to play quarterback. I think that's changed, obviously, in the past 30 years.
Right.
But it started with Doug Williams.
No.
Yep.
There you go.
The 1988 Redskins. Yep.
That's right. That's right. That was, oh God, what Super Bowl? I forget which one that was, but it was a blowout. John Elway had now lost his second Super Bowl. All right, let's go to the, let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go to area code 469. You're on live with Donovan. Go ahead. Area code 469. You're on live. Hello. Oh boy.
Hello.
He literally sounds like he's got a voice modulator. He sounds like he's about to demand $100 million in unmarked bills. Go ahead, Phil.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to do that. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. D Sharpe? This is Brandon.
Brandon, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good. Okay, so now when you ask me who I would think is the better out of Wentz and Prescott, it's clearly Wentz. Wentz is the better talent. Dak, to me, is the better athlete, but Wentz is the better talent. Adding in, the Eagles do have an O-line that's equal to the Cowboys this year. You're going to have a fun rival. Me and you are going to be talking mad junk over social media about this because I am a Cowboys fan.
You're outnumbered, Donovan.
Well, that's fine. Listen, Cowboys are good this year, man. Like, dude, there's no, like, listen, whoever.
Jason Witten deserves the Super Bowl, God damn it. Sorry, I just had to say it.
You said what?
Jason Witten deserves the Super Bowl, God damn it.
Dude, you don't, nobody deserves shit. You got to go out and get it.
I know, but you know what I mean.
Earn, my friends. Everything is earned, my friend.
That's exactly right. Yeah, thanks for the call. Area code 469. Yeah, I think the Cowboys this year could be a 12-4, 13-3 team. I think the Eagles could be the same team. I think they both could finish with a similar record. Whoever wins the matchup, points scored or whatever, that's going to be the one. That's going to be possibly the 1 or the 2 seed. I think the runner-up is going to be like a 5, possibly even a 6 seed because the NFC I think is loaded this year.
A little tank
so?
for Tua update. The Dolphins are apparently shopping Kenyon Drake around.
They're definitely letting it all go. All right, guys. So we're a half an hour before kickoff here, so we're going to go for just a few more minutes. The next game that I want to talk about, and it's really not because it's a game. It's kind of because of what happened, and that is the Dolphins and the Patriots. I think Miami J said the Patriots are 18-point favorites. If I were in Vegas, I would definitely bet the under. I don't think New England covers today, but again, if they're shopping on Drake, man, I don't know. You might want to take the over. The elephant in the room here is Antonio Brown. I did a very long live call-in show. Had a lot of opinions on that. I'll just give it to the panel. Doc Torrey, what are your thoughts on Antonio Brown? And Doc Torrey he's very good at researching this stuff. He seems to know. He seems to have all the facts in place. So, what is your take on the whole Antonio Brown sexual harassment or sexual assault rape accusation?
Well, it's funny that the tables have turned a little bit because I actually learned a little bit more from listening to your show because the past couple of weeks I've been making some moves and working and whatnot. But I will say this. As you know, you've known me for many years from writing for Voice for Men. I got red pill when I was 17 years old. So, I go back to, Ross Jeffries to Warren Farrell back in the 90s. So, so I have a broad swath of knowledge of this, of how these things tend to play out. And, we talk about ESPN and changing the ethos and whatnot. And to me, it was never really the left or right thing that was the issue. It was the feminist framing, and that really hasn't changed. And the feminist framing is there is never, ever any such thing as a false accusation. We saw that with the Jackie situation when it was proven demonstrably false. We still saw "I stand with Jackie" hashtags everywhere.
University of Virginia,
Kerry Champion interrogating Drew Rosenhaus as if he's supposed to throw his client under the bus, right?
Right.
Kerry Champion's a you have a daughter. Man. What do you think about your guy? But moving to your to back, I think you really encapsulated it in that we looked at a situation like we've seen in many cases where women feel free to gossip about certain things to other people, and they don't want to tell the police because they have to keep their story straight. And what we hear from feminists all the time with this woman, Brittany, is that, well, no matter what she does, that's how a victim behaves, right?
Right.
Well, we know that most of the time victims are going to want to cringe when they see their accuser, when they see the person that raped them or assaulted them or the person that makes them feel creeped out. They don't want to be around them. So I'm just going to go to the club with this guy and dance with him and fuck him again, right? So
Right.
I think that now that notwithstanding, Antonio Brown is a sort of is not a sympathetic character, and so that makes it a lot harder to defend him in general. But as red pill gentlemen, we've got to defend everybody against these accusations if they're false. So and he deserves his due process. And I don't know what happened, but I tend to roll with you that it's a little bit on the suspect side.
Okay, very good. Miami J's got to go here in a couple minutes. So I'm going to let him go next. What are your thoughts on Antonio Brown? You're muted. I think you're muted.
Yeah, Antonio Brown doesn't need to sexually assault anybody. I think it's all bullcrap.
Right.
I mean, I don't think the Patriots are going to cover today. I think they're going to lose. I think they're going to get their asses handed to them 35-0.
Oh my God.
I couldn't say that with a straight face.
Oh God.
Antonio,
I got to run, guys.
all right. Miami J, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the blowout. That's later. I don't know. Maybe the humidity gets to Brady. I don't know. We'll see. Take it easy, man. We'll talk soon.
Later, guys.
Miami J in the house. Thanks to him for joining us. MLD. I think it's pretty obvious where you stand, but just for the sake of argument, go ahead and tell us what you think about the Antonio Brown situation.
Dude, I hope Antonio Brown has the best fucking game of his career. I hope he fucking runs 1 million fucking touchdowns in, dude. Like this guy. Okay, look. If you're a guy who's seasoned with women, you know that as soon as you become a millionaire celebrity, right? You could even become a fucking YouTube celebrity or a Twitch celebrity. You got a target on your back for some bad women that are just going to look to use this opportunity to try to financially extort you. What this woman did completely left out of her whole, I got raped and everything. First of all, if somebody rapes you, you don't go hang out with them again.
Right.
I mean, call me crazy, but if I were to get like,
crazy, but no, that's not something rape women would do.
Right. If somebody were to rape me, I wouldn't be like, well, I think he did it by accident, and I'm gonna go I'll give the guy another chance. Maybe we play some video games together. I don't know. We'll go to the club, pop a couple bottles. No,
my pussy.
Yeah, So that being said, I think it's pretty clear as day that the media is going to do the whole SJW feminist thing. It's going to backfire on them. And I think that obviously it's without a shadow of a doubt the Patriots are going to win. I just hope Antonio has a wonderful game. I just hope this shit didn't fuck with his head too much. He's got a lot to prove.
Listen, he's here for the smoke, dude. Antonio Brown is one of those guys, dude. If he likes to do things to spite people. What Ben Roethlisberger says, I'm not running routes. Let me go out and catch 14 touchdown passes today. Like, he's that guy.
Good.
Yeah.
Much.
Oh, okay. So the over-under, I got the Patriots going over mainly because of the Antonio Brown angst that he has. He has a target on his back. He has the entire mainstream world against him. Granted, us red pill guys know better. Yeah, we're going to cook him on the antics that he did with the Raiders and that sort of thing. Yeah, we'll roast his ass all day about that. But when it comes to this, the only thing Antonio Brown didn't do was to exercise his options. It seems like in this case, it was a case of one-itis, even if these accusations are true in a way. I mean, this was consensual, but this was a case of one-itis where he was sweating this chick. That's the only thing I will accuse Antonio Brown of.
Okay.
But with that being stated, yeah, him along with Josh Gordon, I mean, just those two alone, having the chip on the shoulder that they are going to basically pull up numbers similar to what Baltimore did week 1. I mean, don't be surprised if this looks like a repeat of what we saw from last week.
And check this out. But what a lot of people what gets lost in translation about their undefeated season in 07, that was on the heels of Spygate. The world hated Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, the New England Patriots. And, dude, they absolutely ran up the score on everybody, especially on Miami. Dude, they're throwing fake spikes and touchdown passes to Randy Moss. Dude, they're throwing the football on 4th and 25 when they're up by 3 touchdowns. I mean, they absolutely wanted to show the league, okay, we got your Spygate right here. And I think, listen, a motivated, as if the Patriots needed any more reason to be motivated, right? How much do you want to bet Bill Belichick is in the locker room telling them, of course, in a monotone voice, right? The world hates us. The world hates Antonio Brown. Let's go out here and win this. Let's go undefeated for Antonio. And Brady looks at Antonio and says, Antonio, I'm coming to you, just like Aikman told Irvin, I'm coming to you no matter what. I agree. I think he's going to have that kind of game. I don't think New England covers. I think they win. I think they win by 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I'll take the under. I say they win by 17, maybe like a 37-20 or something like that. But listen, a field goal either way could really spoil the spread. So, all right, guys.
Miami look pretty bad, man. I don't know. I think they're going to lose I think they're going to get blown out even more. I don't think Fitzpatrick can't put shit together, man. He needs to go back to Harvard and teach a couple lessons or something. I don't know. He's done.
Well, here's the thing. And the reason I'm going to use here is going to be the same reasoning that I'm going to use for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they play. Who do the Steelers have this week?
They are playing
They have the Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Okay?
That's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a good game, but the Steelers are going to blow out the Seahawks, and I'll tell you why. They were embarrassed on national TV. If a talented team is embarrassed on national TV, everybody's talking about them. Dude, they're going to show the world what's up. Russell Wilson's going to be running for his life. They're going to play for pride. Okay, so the Dolphins clearly are tanking, and guys are being traded, and guys want to move on. But the guys in that locker room, they're like, dude, we're 18-point dogs. Like, are you serious with that? We got to remember, the Dolphins are terrible, but you want to know something? They are an NFL football team, and we're all aware of the moniker Any Given Sunday. Tom Brady does not play well in Miami. The Patriots always seem to go down to Miami and just lay an egg. It's just it's an anomaly that happens once a year. Nobody can explain it. They can beat anybody everywhere except for the Dolphins in Miami. I don't know. I got a feeling.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady opened a whole can of whoop-ass on them last week, so we're gonna see. Yeah. We're gonna see how they reply.
Absolutely, guys. That's gonna do it for this edition of TSR Sunday NFL Rundown. My thanks goes out to Doctore for joining us today. Definitely bringing the wisdom and knowledge as always. The incomparable Jonathan of Modern Life Dating in the house with his hot take. We call him I think I'm gonna call you Sports Hot Take Sushi because you look like sushi with this thing on your Sushi Ninja. And then, of course, the guy with the best beard game on the panel, Xanatos Clutch, looking like the Black Neo. Black Neo. We got to find a white Morpheus. Thank you guys all. Enjoy the games, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Take care, Donovan.
All right, guys.